Do you like the Oakland A's? Are you a fan of the Golden Knights? Do you love the Los Angeles Chargers? Well then, my friend, you're in the right place. This is the Snake Sports Talk Show with your host, Jake the Snake Silva, brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network.
So this was funny. I had a conversation about this in my previous episode with our very own Coach Dante, who you could check out here on the Spotlight Sports Network. And we talked about a certain quarterback. And what was interesting is I didn't think he'd be moved to this destination. I looked all over, and I said this. Anywhere that they're going to need a quarterback. Washington needs a quarterback. The Giants might need a push to get a quarterback if Daniel Jones doesn't succeed. Dallas might need a quarterback just to protect Dak Prescott, because honestly, all the backups there in Dallas are terrible. I mean, let's face it. Dak doesn't really have a whole lot of insurance in that quarterback depth chart. And there's a couple of other places that could very much use a quarterback. But this was on the news a couple days that Gardner Minshew is officially traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, why would the Eagles do this? And Coach Dante mentioned about one thing. He mentioned about Philadelphia being one of those teams that could get Gardner Minshew. And sure enough, it happens. And this is my thought. Let me focus on Philly. First of all the pressure is on the shoulders of Howie Roseman, not to mention Nick Sirianni, and parts of it, Jalen Hurts. They have to make this work. They went through all the troubles, and they went through all the chaos, and all of just a tear down, and now we're building it right back up. This whole motion that Philadelphia has been in before the season started, now you've got a backup quarterback that you could trust if Jalen Hurts gets hurt. Because honestly, when I watched preseason, Nick Mullins did not look like a capable backup. Joe Flacco looked good, but you're only getting the experience portion out of it. And what's funny about this is Gardner Minshew is an interesting type of player, because he has had his spurts of moments in Jacksonville where he was actually very productive, he was competitive, and is a guy that just, at any given Sunday, is just going to put up competitive numbers for you. And so when you need a touchdown, you need a score, he'll do his best to provide it. But what's funny about this is that Philadelphia, and you already knew with the quarterback carousel that they went through last year, they said we're falling in with Jalen Hurts. We're going all in for him. And then they decide to go and get Gardner Minshew as a capable backup. I still think he could potentially be a starter in this league. That's why I mentioned about Washington. Listen, Washington is only going to get so much out of Ryan Fitzpatrick until it just burns off. You don't know if Taylor Heineke is going to really put up the performance like he did in the postseason. You don't know that. That's why it was kind of like a lightning in the bottle situation. And so I was very, very curious as to how Washington didn't even initially make this move. Because think about the quarterback lists next year. You got Spencer Rattler, Sam Howell, and a couple of others. I don't know who's really going to shine the most in college. I don't. I felt like this past draft was maybe the last that I would ever see it be a stacked and deep quarterback class. And I thought it, again, I was really, really curious about that move. But it does make sense. Makes a lot of sense in the world for Philadelphia. Extra depth. You got a capable backup. It's a good insurance plan. And what's funny about this is, like, you look up insurance plans and you want the best one that's affordable, not something that's like over the top expensive to where you go and get something like, again, Carson Wentz was going to be an expensive backup, and you knew you weren't going to be able to handle that amount of money. But they do get something there. And Gardner Minshew can be capable of being a starter, but is also a high-end backup. And Philadelphia's got all the protection with it. And as I said, for New York, for the Giants, I mean, Daniel Jones it's go time. You cannot afford to flunk a season like this. And this is a team that very much improved defensively, offensively. I think Joe Judge is capable of winning more games, but it will only depend on how Daniel Jones really bounces this up and coming year. If he does, it will be, then at that point, the Giants will be fine. And Daniel Jones will not lose his job. But a lot of pressure sometimes when it comes to New York, all the pressure's there. And I thought Gardner Minshew would be an ideal fit in case of something like that was to happen. But I like this move. I like this. Philadelphia gets a capable high-end backup and is a guy that they're really going to enjoy so much. And I thought it was interesting. But now let's just see how Philadelphia really pans out throughout this whole thing. I'm excited for it.